Discord announced that it will start rolling out age verification globally beginning in March, just 5 months after a breach from a third-party age verification vendor exposed the government IDs of around 70,000 Discord users. I don't think the timing for this could be a lot worse. Well, no. Actually, it could have been worse. It could have been just 4 months after a breach, but I think you understand what I mean. The platform is going to automatically configure all user accounts for what they're calling a teen-appropriate experience unless those users are proven to be adults. Now, it is worth noting that apparently not everyone is going to have to submit proof of being an adult, but the way that they get, non-user submitted proof of your adulthood is not going to make you a lot happier than submitting the proof. All right.
Yeah.
First, let's talk about what happens with users that are not verified adults. They will not be able to access age-restricted servers or channels. They won't be able to speak on stage channels. They will see content filters for anything Discord decides is graphic or sensitive. They will see warnings about friend requests from users they might not know. I mean, honestly, that's fine. And will have DMs from unfamiliar users go into a separate inbox. Frankly, those last two should just be platform-wide. I'll die on that hill. DMs from friends and interactions on non-age-restricted servers will operate as they always have. Users with pre-existing subscriptions to restricted servers will have those this is wild. Will have those servers' content obfuscated until they pass age verification checks. The craziest part of this, Luke, and I feel like, part of me wanted to wait until the end of going through the information before talking about this, but I feel like I just have to jump in right now. The craziest part of this is they didn't have to do this. There were some jurisdictions that are pushing for stronger child safety measures that are putting pressure on social media platforms, including Discord, to put these kinds of checks in place. But then they didn't have to roll it out globally. And we've seen this before. Sometimes it's a huge benefit to a user base. When Apple gets a bunch of pressure from the EU to use USB Type-C, guess what? We get USB-C iPhones everywhere. So sometimes this works out really great. But this is software. So there was no real reason other than maintaining two forks, I guess, that they had to do this. Like, do you have any thoughts on this as someone who, has led a couple of software teams now, currently?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't want to touch this at all, ever. And like they talk about how I think this is maybe in the notes somewhere. Again, we haven't gone through all of it yet, but they talk about how they're going to delete it immediately. But then they also talk about how
we'll get into that. I just mean, like, why would they maintain the two forks? Can you give me a reason why they would roll this out globally when a lot of the world is not putting any pressure on them to do this?
Maintaining the two forks can be really annoying, and I think they might see the writing on the wall a little bit, that a lot of different countries are moving in this direction.
I mean, that's fair. That's fair. The momentum is really building. I can't really believe how quickly we went from everyone kind of agrees that
age verification is just BS anyways.
Oh, no, I was going somewhere else. Social media is like really bad for kids.
Oh, yeah.
And then sometimes legislation can seem to move pretty quickly. Like there are minor
phones
social
in
media
schools
bans
right now is moving pretty fast.
It moved pretty fast. It really did.
Yeah.
It took forever to get anywhere, and then it was like, okay, we're doing something. Like, okay, got it. All right, let's keep talking. Speaking to The Verge, Discord's global head of product policy stated that, and this is a quote, "For most adults, age verification won't be required." Remember how I said, though, that you weren't necessarily going to like how they were doing that? She went on to explain that Discord's age inference model uses account information such as tenure, device and activity data, and high-level patterns to attempt to determine the user's age range. So I guess I'm safe because I still use GIFs, which are apparently boomer meta now.
Oh, and you call them that, which means you're obviously ancient. So you're good. You're in the clear for sure.
If the system is unable to infer a user's age, the user will be prompted to take a video selfie for facial age estimation. Discord claims the video won't leave your device, but as many commenters noted, that does not mean that your biometric data is safe. Alternatively, you can submit a scan of government-issued ID along with a selfie as definitive proof of age. Age will be apparently estimated using the KID tool from Swiss-based vendor Privately. Discord claims images of documents are deleted in most cases immediately after age confirmation. What does in most cases mean? Why would it not be in all cases? And they also claim they don't keep the information from the ID, which, you know, you tell a community like Discord that, yeah, well, we're gonna, you know, we're only gonna do this with it and we're gonna delete it probably immediately and it'll totally be fine. Of course, they're gonna start, you know, pulling at every loose thread they can find. So some Discord users posted on Reddit saying that policies for KID and Privately don't exactly line up with what Discord is saying.
I also think this is actually out of date information.
Oh, okay.
Full plane chat got me going down a path, and then I started Googling some things, and it sounds like they've swapped out the KID plan.
Okay.
And they're now going down. They didn't do a like roll it back situation. They just switched partners, and now they're working with a company called Persona. And people in Floatplane chat, I've not verified this yet, are saying that Persona is owned by Peter Thiel.
So wait, this is out of date, but not in a way that it is getting better in any way.
Oh no, like potentially worse. Yeah. Yeah.
No, Discord. Why?
Yeah.
Why? You were for an actual fairly extended period of time.
Only Persona
pretty cool.
in the UK as an experiment. Okay, yeah, sorry. There's some stuff going on here. I'm not 100% sure what it is. There's a Reddit thread from 11 hours ago. Like, this is very new. Discord has assured its users that it is using KID for its facial age estimation. There's a bait and switch. KID is an on-device zero-knowledge proof. You can scan your face, and then KID runs an assessment model locally and estimates your age. I mean, that sounds pretty all right. Discord only receives a token that say blah, 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 blah. That sounds not too bad. Persona is a corporate partner of Palantir, a spying and surveillance company that blah, 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 blah. They, quote-unquote, delete your information within minutes usually, but they retain the embeddings. The embeddings are machine-readable portion of your face or ID. Something.
Oh,
Discord
Lordy.
has promised KID, but is giving us Persona. This is all relatively new.
Okay, so
I don't
basically,
know about all this.
Here's what we can say definitively. We can say that so far, the story from Discord doesn't seem to be firmed up in a way that is making their community happy.
Yeah.
I think we can say that. Many commenters have mentioned canceling Nitro subscriptions and or moving to other platforms, even if they don't get prompted to verify their accounts. Others have started placing bets on how long it'll take for Discord to be hit with another breach because, of course, everybody bets on everything now. This is not financial advice. I would not get involved in that personally. Commenters have also brought up some pretty, a pretty familiar debate between the Real Names Solve Everything crowd and the privacy advocates, reminding us that while there can be benefits to people using real names, this is pretty early in the show for me to say something this controversial, but I appreciate, or at least appreciated before it was so full of spammers, the real identity element of Facebook Marketplace. It was a lot easier to navigate knowing that for the most part, these were real people.
Yeah, now it's just scammers anyways.
Now it's just scammers anyway. They seem to have kind of overcome it.
Yeah.
So there has been at least one time when I personally enjoyed and appreciated that element of a web service. But it's worth reminding even the people who do enjoy that vibe that online privacy can be a literal life and death issue sometimes. And even when it's not life and death, many folks have a good reason not to share their identities, as explained by Redditor Radioactive Truth. This is a quote. Am I really going to associate my legal name with the PTSD groups that I'm part of? Because of course they're not safe for work, so I would need to be age verified. Like, do you know how sickening it would be to the hundreds of members there to have to put our legal names on experiences that scarred us, right? Like, there's so many perspectives. There's so many ways that people use the internet and connect on the internet that rely on not being forced to upload a government-issued ID. Okay, Luke, go ahead and say it.
Oh, just like this was obviously inevitable?
Oh no, I wanted you to just tell us you already use TeamSpeak just like you already use Firefox because you're just that cool.
I do use TeamSpeak though. Like I actually do. I use an older version of TeamSpeak. I do think I've never used this one, but I do think a lot of people are unaware. So like, okay, hold on. I'm going to go back.
Is TeamSpeak the answer, Luke? Is TeamSpeak the answer?
I think for most people, the answer is going to be to stay on Discord, which is really sad.
Whoa.
I would encourage you to try something else. Now, when we go back to the old greats, Ventrilo is still showing off this UI. So, okay, that might not be working for a lot of people. Mumble is still showing off this UI. So, again, it might not be up there for a lot of people, even though both of them are based. I'm just saying. But TeamSpeak is trying. I haven't tried this version of TeamSpeak, but they have like chat channels and server browsers and friends lists and chats, and like it looks a lot like Discord. I when the group of people that I joined that was using TeamSpeak told me they were using TeamSpeak, I was excited about this, and then I realized that we're still using like I think TeamSpeak 3 or something.
Nice.
Also, someone in chat said TeamSpeak 6 is just a Matrix server with a different UI, which brings up Matrix, which is another thing a bunch of people have been talking about. I had that ready. Thank you for priming me on that, Flowplane chat. Matrix is another option that people are exploring. Things are built on top of this, which I can't confirm that this is actually just built on top of Matrix, but that would maybe make sense. But there are other options. I know a lot of people are going to run into this thing and just go like, well, okay, Discord is the only thing out there. For a weird blip of time, people used Skype. Before then, people used like a huge variety of things: Mumble, Ventrilo, TeamSpeak, Xfire, Razer comms for 4.5 minutes. I was gonna say. Yeah.
I mean, the show is already brought to you by Razer 3 other times. Why don't they resurrect comms?
Yeah,
and the show can be brought to you by Razer comms.
But Discord did fully pull a Amazon Walmart maneuver and effectively kill everything else. So there really isn't much, but these things are still around.
Not much with momentum.
Yeah,
not much that has any meaningful sort of user base that they could kind of quickly grow from. But there are efforts out there, and I would implore you to at least check them out. Matrix sounds really exciting. There are also, I'm not going to name them just because the open source people can get a little spicy sometimes, but there's been a couple of people in Floatplane chat that have been like, yeah, but Matrix is kind of not great. I've never personally used it, but I've heard great things. Lumilias points out that Steam Chat has actually improved
Steam
a
Chat's
lot.
gotten way better.
Between the time that we actually relied on Steam Chat quite a bit, and then Discord took over and then was dominant, Valve has quietly continued to improve the social experiences of just using Steam. I mean, I don't...
Someone said, what about Slack? Slack is not an acceptable replacement for gaming groups, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's a tough one. And I don't love the fact that Steam's social experiences, which still aren't amazing, are baked right into the Steam platform. I want something that is truly cross-platform. And like, okay, yes, they have the mobile app, but like, yeah, this feels like one of those things where if Microsoft and the Xbox team were like on it, you know where I'm going with this.
100%, but they never will.
If they were dialed, right?
Yep.
Like,
if they were dialed, this would have been solved so long ago. If they were
That's true,
dialed, they never
because-
would have abandoned MSN Messenger, and then now they would just
Yeah.
have like a gaming
yeah.
version or something. I don't know. They would have some form of way to like tie it into gaming.
If only Microsoft had known how enormous social networking, social media was going to be, because they were so far ahead. They had all the mind share, all of it.
Yeah.
Nothing else mattered other than MSN and Skype, which they bought. Like Trillion was dead, ICQ was dead, AIM was dead, everything was dead. They were it, only show in town.
Yeah, some people are saying like the hardest thing will be, I think it was Elijah. I don't know, I lost it. No, it was Elijah. The hardest thing will be getting whole groups to move. Like I have a server with 1,500 people. How do I move everyone?
Yeah, no, that's a great point.
Yeah.
Because there will be.
There's also a lot of Discord bots and Discord integrations for different communities and stuff. Discord is, I think it's free to self-host. I'm pretty sure. So like maybe consider that because it's still free. But like, I don't know, guys. This isn't it. I don't think. I think we're still going to be waiting for what it is. But when you look at the mass of what Discord is, and then you try to tell me Nitro is fully funding that platform, sorry, bro. There's no way. I don't believe.
I had this conversation with one of the writers the other day. I forget who it was, but they were making the argument to me that, yeah, do you have any idea how much people spend on Nitro and all that? And I'm just looking at it going like, I don't think like it looks like they've gone. I mean, we've seen it so many times that I don't know why. Oh, it was Elijah. We've seen it so many times that I don't understand why we keep getting surprised by it. A new service shows up. It's totally free. It's totally way better than anything else that you would probably have to pay for, or is free and, kind of jank because it's a handful of people that are working on it in their spare time. Like, of course, you've got Mumble up on screen right now. Yep, that checks out. And everyone migrates to it. They get the user base, that they keep growing the user base, which allows them to, keep getting access to funding, to keep burning money. And then at some point, the piper comes calling and they have to figure out how to make money on it. And they come up with all these ideas and they convert some of the users to paid, but it's not enough. I don't think I'm convinced that Nitro is enough. Geek Power points out there are ads in Discord. Yup, fair enough. As someone who uses it unpaid with no Nitro, and okay, admittedly, I do have a pretty solid built-in ad block into my brain, but I don't think I've ever seen an ad in Discord. They bother me about Nitro, but I just dismiss that pretty good.
There are cosmetics. I know very few people that have paid cosmetics. There are free ones. I know people that have those.
Okay, but
right.
you only need a few whales. You only need a few whales when it comes to cosmetics.
I still think there's going to be, just like what happens with basically every platform, I think there's going to be a major we want to make more money now push at some point. And they've been slowly creeping towards it. And maybe it'll just continue to be slowly, but yeah.
And then the other part is, as you acquire all these users, you're kind of caught between a rock and a hard place, right? Like you're caught between this need to monetize the user base that you don't have that you haven't figured out because you were like, okay, well, we'll deal with that later. And then you're caught between that and the regulatory burden that exists for extremely large platforms, regardless of how much money they're making. Like if you had a social media platform that had 100 million users, you're going to be under intense scrutiny, whether you're making $1 billion a year or losing $1 billion a year. It doesn't really matter just because you're so influential. Whiskey Nerd points out that the Discord IPO is supposed to be next month in March.
Yeah.
That's something that's okay. I saw a conspiracy theory that this is like 4D chess trying to somehow manipulate the public perception towards Discord right before the IPO, because that was the only explanation they could come up with for why they would do something this upsetting to their user base right before they go public. And maybe this is just me not being, stock market brained enough, but could there possibly be any reason for you to want your company to be worth less before you go IPO? I thought you want to juice the valuation before you go IPO.
Yeah, it's weird.
Hit me up. Come on.
Maybe
Here we go, guys.
Maybe that's the Palantir adjacent push. Working with Persona, because that's a weird move.
All publicity is good publicity, says Advo Cactus Diaboli. Most equities trading is bots. Bots don't care about product sentiment. Okay, that second part though it's an interesting point. But if they bleed users, bots probably care about that a little bit. Tank the initial price, go public. Then once you buy a ton, you roll back the bad stuff and go up once you own it. No, because then you just wouldn't IPO in the first place. You would just keep owning the stock. We'll only control the running costs. I really don't think that's it, because
we'll see how much people actually care is what this ultimately is going to lead to. Because you hear really, really loud noises about so many different things: gambling, microtransactions in video games, all these different things. And then you see the user behavior is to just use it more than ever. Yeah, I think the ultimate reaction to this is going to be nothing, and that's kind of sad. But I mean, I'm going to go check out, TeamSpeak 6 or whatever this is. See how cool it is. Maybe it's cool. Maybe it's not. Maybe it'll be a real alternative. Maybe it won't be. But I'm interested.
Okay, cool. That's a pretty depressing note to end that on. But let's get right into an update for you guys. Whaleand, brought to you by Threat Locker. Do you want to throw the schedule up on screen, Luke? Is just 1 week away. We've got an extensive lineup of games scheduled for the stage, the 8v8 arena, and the lounge, with locally hosted lobbies for a bunch of games, including Battlefront 2, Tribes 2, and other classics like Halo Custom Edition. You can enjoy some classic split screen or local multiplayer action in the gaming lounge. We'll have a lineup of party games ranging from 8 to 12 players at once, and we'll be hosting a Smash Bros tournament in the lounge on Saturday. We're pulling up to the LAN with the new and improved modified fire truck featuring... okay, hold on. It only has some of this stuff so far, so don't read out all of this, but it definitely has a super custom Nintendo Switch 2 themed gaming TV setup in the back, so you can check out the fire truck in person. Oh, yeah. And we just got oh, no way. Seriously? We just got confirmation today that just like LTX 2023, we will have a custom screwdriver station on site.
Oh, whoa. Really?
I had no idea. This is the first time hearing of it.
What the heck?
But that's pretty cool.
That is cool.
So
Dang.
we'll see you guys there. Have I ever explicitly said that you and I are going to be there? Like, we've talked about Whaleland a lot, but did we clarify that?
Oh man, I got my dates screwed. I am going to be there, to be clear, as a spoiler. I am fully going to be there the whole time. Everything's fine. Everything's okay. But I got my dates screwed up, and I thought that thing that's coming this weekend that I told you about was that weekend. And I was like, no. And then figured out that I'm all clear. I'm all good. So I'll be there.
Jeez, Luke.
I was real upset for a moment.
Anyway, tickets are available at lmg.gg/Whaleland. We will see you there.
I got to jump back into something because somebody in chat reminded me of something I was going to say. Where'd it go? Deep Blue V7 said, our servers for our open source chat solution have been buckling under all the people signing up. Maybe just temporary, but usually some people stay at least. And that's awesome. And I'm very happy for it. And I really don't want this to come across negative. But something I was planning on saying for this segment was that if, like, say, TeamSpeak's users, for example, double, quadruple, I don't think Discord will even notice. The mass that Discord has right now is insane. And one thing that this might help is, like, your open source project, maybe you guys get bigger, and maybe TeamSpeak gets bigger, and maybe these other solutions get bigger, and maybe they become at least seen as a viable actual alternative. That alone, in my opinion, would be a huge win, because right now it's nothing. People basically just use Discord or nothing. It's only Discord. So if we can at least normalize that there are alternatives, even if we can't take a real, actual, sizable chunk out, but if we can just normalize there being alternatives, I think that would be awesome. So just try to keep that in mind. I don't think we're going to be able to make a real dent to Discord, but this is a slow war, not a fast one, I think.